Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about Mars in Gemini from 13th of April to 1st of June. Uh, Mars is escaping Rahu and he is breaking the Kal Sarpa Yoga fully. More about it later, and also going into the intellectual Gemini. What can we expect? Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking Mars in Gemini. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. So, Mars in Gemini actually is very interesting. He is there from 13th April to 1st of June. He's largely on his own. No other planet is conjoining it, although towards the end of May, first Mercury and then Venus will join it, but they don't make a conjunction with Mars in Gemini. So firstly, what happens is that Mars in Gemini, as he moves on 13th of April, he breaks the connection with Rahu. Although he had broken away and broken the Kal Sarpa Yoga in March, he's actually out of the same sign where Rahu is placed only now on 13th of April. Some of the great Indian astrologers believe that Kal Sarpa is not broken until the planet is out of the sign where Rahu Ketu are. So Mars moving into Gemini on 13th of April completes that condition. So therefore, finally, Rahu's influence has gone. And other planets will start breaking it, but Mars has moved out and is in Gemini. Now, Taurus is more of a fixed sign. So Mars transit there, sometimes there was more underlying activity taking place and aggravation from Rahu. Whereas in Mercury sign, he is thinking his options because Gemini is way more analytical and wants to put the fiery Mars in kind of a position to say, analyze it, think about it. And Mars is not always comfortable in Gemini, but this time I think that he's out of Rahu's orbit, so he feels way more comfortable there. Secondly, he's making a Parivartana yoga with Mercury. Mercury is in Aries, Mars is in Gemini. This is not for long. This is only 16th to 30th of April. And I'll be talking about each sign, how the Parivartana affects. I did do a video on Parivartana yoga, and I will put a link to it so that you can understand more about Parivartana yogas. And then you can also see how they are operating by transit. Short time only, because Mercury goes into Aries from 16th April to 30th April, and then Mars is at the same time in Gemini. So they are making an exchange with each other. So how does it affect? Do remember that your moon sign and your lagna, 2 points of view you can study the transits from. So Aries, of course, relief that Mars is no longer with Rahu and all the aggravation Rahu brings with it and dissatisfaction. Whereas Gemini is your third house, it is analytical and, thinking about what is the strategy for your next few months. That is what you should spend your time. Of course, there's a duality of Gemini, so you may feel, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? So there may be too many things going ahead, so you'll have to learn how to focus. The Parivartana yoga between Mercury and Gemini is called a Khala Parivartana yoga. This is not always so easy. It really depends on what you bring out of this transit. You can sometimes get attracted by just the debris, or you can look at the more powerful things. Taurus, Mars rules relationships for you and he rules expenses for you. So being in Gemini, one of the things you have to be careful is that you're not spending all your money. Also, the Parivartana yoga between Mercury and Mars is between the 12th house and the first house. So 12th house is expenses, first house is earnings or savings. So be careful that you're not creating expenses for yourself that are making a major dent into your savings. Gemini, Mars is not the best planet for you. He's the 11th house ruler and the 6th house ruler in the ascendant. So you may feel some kind of obstacle. Just watch out for your health. But 11th house is to do with money and finances. And from 16th to 30th of April, Mercury is in Aries and Mars in Gemini. This is going to create a Maha Parivartana yoga. So it is largely positive, especially regarding earning. One thing Gemini should watch out is not to get too impulsive and angry. Cancer, Mars in Gemini, not the best energy for you. It is your 12th house, and the Parivartana yoga between Mercury and Mars, it is a Dainya Parivartana yoga. So there may be some change, loss regarding work. So you have to be very careful between 16th to 30th of April. But otherwise, also with Mars being in the 12th house, you can feel the expenses getting out of control. So do keep a tight hold on them. Leo, Gemini is your 11th house, and that's a good placement. Mars is an excellent planet for you. So he can bring in some money, finances, good opportunities. And the Mars-Mercury exchange is between the 11th and 9th house. This is a Maha Parivartana yoga. So making some small change can bring good luck, good opportunity for finances and money from ideas, maybe some good opportunities coming your way. Virgo, Mars in Gemini is in your 10th house. Career is not necessarily a good planet for you, but 10th house transit of Mars is always good. It can make you push ahead with your career. However, between 16th and 30th of April, when Mars Mercury Parivartana is taking place, that is between the 8th house and the 10th house. So, there can be some unexpected aspects regarding the career. And if you don't want them to happen, just go slowly. Don't make any push regarding that during that time. Libra, Mars rules your 7th house of relationships, 2nd house of money. And Mars is in your 9th house of good luck. And the Mars-Mercury Parivartana, even though it is just for a fortnight, is quite lucky for you, as it involves 7th house of relationship, 9th house of good luck. It could be either through you or your spouse, partners as well. Scorpio, Mars is your Lagna Lord going into the 8th house. This is not the most easiest energy. You have to be aware that actions can have unexpected consequences. And the Parivartana Yoga of Mars and Mercury between 16th and 30th of April, that is between the 6th house and 8th house. Now, 6th and 8th house combination is a Parivartana, but it's also a Vipireeta Raja Yoga. That means when some obstacles come, you can overcome them, you can be empowered by them. Sagittarius, Mars is a good planet for you. However, in Gemini, it is in your 7th house. So 7th house is house of relationships. So you have to be very careful that you don't get into unnecessary debates, unnecessary arguments with your spouse or your serious relationship, even business partners. I think the important thing to remember is that sometimes there are important issues that we need to argue or fight over, but not every issue is worthwhile. And when Mars is transiting your 8th house, it's best to be a little bit silent about it. And the Mars-Mercury aspect, which is happening from 16th to 30th is actually very positive for you. So they can bring good luck and opportunities. However, 5th house is also connected to romance and 7th house to relationships. It can bring a short, sudden romance that you are not expecting. Capricorn, Mars is your 4th house lord, which is home, and it rules your 11th house money. It's transiting in Gemini, which is your 6th house. So this is not the most positive transit for you. However, 6th house transit is always good for Mars, but there can be some competition, some opposition that you face. And then this Mars and Mercury Parivartana yoga. Mercury is in your 4th house and Mars is in your 6th house. So you can expect some opposition at home. There may be some expense, some thing happening at home that you need to be careful about. And also, be careful while taking risks. It's best not to do that. Of course, Capricorn, have been saying for so long, best to be cautious anyway. Aquarius, Gemini rules your 5th house of creativity, ideas, children. Mars is usually not the best in the 5th house, but he can be quite aggressive and forward thinking. And Mars in Gemini is also analytical of how to use your energy properly, how to do your work properly, and that would be the best. However, the Mars Mercury Parivartana yoga is not the best for you because it can throw up some challenges for you. And so watch between 16th to 30th of June. Pisces, Mars is a great planet for you. Gemini is 4th house. So home is an area that you need to be cautious about. And Aries is your 2nd house. So this Mars Mercury Parivartana is a Maha Parivartana yoga. They will create a positive alchemy for you. Finances, home. There can be opportunities at home as well. However, be careful not to argue with your mother. That may be a good idea. So that is it today for Mars in Gemini. Thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe.